Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Eyezone Education webinar on optical industry, the way forward post-COVID-19. The last 4 months have been incredibly challenging to economies across the world, and optical industry has not had it any easier. While everyone is trying to grapple with the situation, it is our endeavor at Eyezone to infuse enthusiasm through our trusted and longtime colleague, Mr. Mushtaq, who will discuss various aspects of our way forward through the crisis. Mr. Mushtaq, a multifaceted personality, is not just a business administrator, but also a trainer, a columnist, an author, and a life coach. He has been an integral part of optical industry and instrumental in shaping the success of renowned companies. Before moving forward, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Ali Bandur, CEO of Eyezone Education and Publishing. May I now request all participants to remain muted to avoid interruption for the speaker. I now hand over the session to Mr. Mushtaq for his presentation, which will be followed by an interactive question and answer session. Over to Mr. Mushtaq.
So the purpose of today's webinar is to just discuss and share some thoughts about the way forward in the optical industry. Having said this, before that, I would like to stand up and salute all the healthcare workers, the doctors, the nurses, the compounders, the ward boys, and us optometrists, opticians, sales people on the sales front. What an amazing job we are doing. We have not relented in our efforts to get back and say we are afraid of it. Rather, we have presented ourselves on the front and still continue to supply our products, cater to the needs of the patients, and still see the world is operating. What an amazing thing. Please pat on your back. And now going forward, I would like to just share a few thoughts in the form of some presentation. Can you see my presentation, everyone?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes, we can.
All right. Great. Now, let's talk about the global optical market and share some insights. We have, out of the 7 billion people or so, 4.5 billion people in the world, nearly 63% of them who need vision correction. And how many of them do you think go regularly to have their eyes checked and get their problems solved? It's only, as per the research, it's around 42%. Again, you know, that is maybe big. We have to blame ourselves for not educating the patients enough. Let's talk about also the ophthalmic market and the penetration of it. North America, as we know, Japan, as we know, Australia, as we know. You know, these are all highly penetrative markets. More than 50% of these markets have these customers who are regularly interacting with their opticians and getting their issues addressed. But what about markets like Asia, markets like Middle East, markets like Africa? We still have less than, 68%, 84%. These are the numbers which springs up on the screen. People have still not gone to the opticians and checked their eyes regularly. So these markets are very underpenetrated. And going forward, we will also see, like, what about the global eyewear in terms of segmentation? We have close to $128 billion worth of global eye care market, which has been growing compoundly in terms of 4.1% as per the research figures. Spectacles and lenses together come to around $90 billion. Contact lenses, for example, $60 billion. Sunglasses come to around $20 billion. Likewise, we also have some figures which show what will happen in 2020? There is a drastic fall of around 5% going down in terms of the figures. You know, spectacles, again, combined with spectacle lenses, is going to be around 87 billion. Contact lenses, 15 billion, and sunglasses going down by 5%, around 20 billion. So now let's talk about Gulf eyewear market. In Gulf eyewear market, we have spectacles. The total market is around $4.2 billion, growing at 8.8% in 2019. Let's see what will happen going forward. In $4.2 billion, we have spectacles 1 billion and spectacle lenses to 1.3 billion. And then we come to contact lenses, which is 0.8 billion, and sunglasses are a little bit high as compared to global average, which is 1.1 billion. Now, if you see the Gulf market in 2019, in 2018, there was a research submitted in Eyezone magazine, which said that the online market will grow compoundly 4%. But as per the research in 2019, we got some figures that 8% was the growth of online business. And the rest is around 92% in terms of OTC, over the counter in the retail. Now, what do you think will happen in post-COVID era? We have no figures to substantiate. Already in our wholesale, we have witnessed a huge jump in terms of, online business picking up. This is not only with regard to contact lenses. Even sunglasses have registered a huge jump. We haven't got exactly how much they have grown, but from your figures, from your understanding, probably as soon as we finish this year, we will be trying to have some kind of analysis how online is growing. Every market in the Gulf and every market in the whole world, online is growing tremendously. So what are we going to do that in terms of, when the business is shifting towards online? Let me post you some challenges. First of all, we always patted ourselves as super sales people. We said we were able to sell solid gold frame worth 5,000 dinar or 50,000 dirhams to a customer. We patted ourselves, but selling 10 pairs of colored contact lenses same time. But unfortunately, right now, we have arrived at a situation that super salesman is dead because the customer is not going to come to you if these can be ordered online. And so what are you going to do? And going forward, I also have a question. And that question is, if you want to grow, you have all along been growing oranges in your garden. Now, suddenly the customer comes up and says to you, I want oranges with the taste of apple. Do you have a solution for that? Because something drastic has happened and you were not prepared for that. And the third and most important thing I would like to address here, the very essence of humanity, which I call it as human touch, has been destroyed. We will discuss all three questions going forward later as we come and analyze the situation. So what does the destruction of human touch is all about? That means a no contact world. That means the number of people are not going to visit the shopping malls or the shops. That means wherever you go, people will go with anxiety with some kind of skepticism and keep themselves at a distance. They would not be liking to stand in a queue. Malls will still be there trying to please these customers and invite them in at every possibility with their aesthetic experience. But something has drastically changed. Look at what has grown in the market. The groceries have shot through in terms of business online. The apparel online has gone up. The restaurants were serving food online. The luxury items which we used to be only, in most cases in the shops, in the retail, in offline, has now gone online. What has proved right now is the footfall in the shops has plummeted. Consumer adoption online and offline kind of dilly-dallying, and they are more adept to go to online. Retailers were forced to lead from the front to protect their staff in terms of health and safety, reducing the stocks and simplifying the assortments, collaborating with suppliers became a necessity. To ensure continuous supply, cash flows were in trouble, and therefore they had to manage their account payables, and along with that with the suppliers. Retailers needed to come up with a recovery plan, which perhaps will take a long time. They had to remobilize their efficient staff. A lot of staff have been sent home and asked to sit at home until they get a call from their owners or the employers. And in effect, to restart and reorganize the business from the supply to logistics and to prices and promotions, it took a toll. So what have we to do now? I mean, we have to come up with a new strategy to emerge with resilience, because consumer behavior has changed forever. Grandfathers and grandmothers are going online to order coffee. Price has become very sensitive. Brand appeal of brands have been eroded. And therefore, people are going to substandard brands or anything that is cheaper available, because the income has reduced, the revenue has reduced. Competitors of your own retail will be indulging in disruptive activities, and more people will be adapting to technology, and if you are not going to do that, it's going to be very detrimental. So now, again, let's talk about Gulf customers right now. We know that the Gulf customers are brand savvy. We know trust in relationship is huge in this region. In most cases, especially the locals, they meet each other and share their thoughts with their friends and relatives through the Divania culture, or going to each other's homes. Beliefs in wellness are very predominant. God's blessings, still there is the average per capita income is high. And under the present circumstances, especially rise in vision correction, there is a rise in vision correction. Expansion of age range is also happening, because more and more children and the adults are having a lot of time on the screen. The screen time has increased. Way back, we thought LASIK is going to be a panacea, it's going to cure everything, but that's not the case. Novelty is still a factor. People would love to go something new always. And there is a quest for indulgence. And there is an indulgence to go shopping and not always sit at home. All these are wonderful factors still in Gulf, which are going to help us. So let's now talk about why customers want to go online. Customers want to go online because of comfort. Because they don't have to go out of their homes and just plug in, shop in, and sleep. There is no pressure in shopping online, because no salesman is going to come and physically intimidate you or challenge you that this product is not good, why don't you buy this one, or try to influence you to buy any other product. Online saves a lot of time. Customers do not have to stand in queues in cash counters. They can shop from anywhere, even while driving in their car, stop it and just shop in. Company, if you don't like a particular website, you can go to any other website and compare the prices and what not. Online is available 24 hours time, unlike shopping malls. If I forget to buy my grocery, if my wife reminds me at middle of the night, I just have to go, plug in and order the grocery, and that will be available next day morning at middle of the night, imagine. So, and most importantly, if the order is delayed, the online gives a very nice tracking system when the order will be delivered exactly. At the end of the day, most people want to go under these circumstances. A, it's safety, and B, it's very cheaper. Rock bottom, some of them, I'm sure you will agree with me, is like, the kind of, I belong to contact lens business, so I know what's happening. It's terrible. No, with having said this, what are the drawbacks of online? Delay in delivery. These days, when I spoke to Aramex, who's one of our logistics dealers, they said they are not contractually, they are not accepting anything less than 2 weeks, because there's so much of demand. So naturally, the products delivery is getting delayed online. Unlike the shopping mall, the customer goes to the shop, picks up off the shelf. Lack of touch and feel. Do you think it will ever happen online? That was the luxury of going to the shopping mall and enjoying that one. Lack of interactivity online. When people used to go to the shops and meet their favorite salesperson or the doctor, they always had those wonderful experiences to remember and interact with them. Sit with them, talk to them, and have a cup of coffee. So lack of shopping experience if they go to online and purchase the products, because they always had that wonderful experience of going to a shop, enjoying the luxury, enjoying the ambience, enjoying the scent, and mingling with the people and have those wonderful time. Lack of close examination of products. They can touch and feel, and in some cases, wear them and tell the salespeople or the doctors, sorry, I'm not very happy with this, give me something else. In most cases, in online, there were Also problems, like for example, somebody in India ordered a Bible and he was given a Bhagavad Gita. Because the load has increased so much, there is a lot of mess up in terms of product picking and processing. And something very vital I'm going to talk about when you go online, and we all know that, is the fraud that is happening online. You have to share your personal information. You have to share your credit card details. You have to share your private details. And the online delivery guy, when he comes to your house to locate you where you are. So that is a huge, huge threat when you go online. So what are we going to do that now in terms of how we are going to handle this situation? Are we going to understand these drawbacks and try to utilize them in our sales, in our businesses? Delay in delivery. How are you going to match up yourself in answering this issue and bring the customer back to your showroom? Too much of discount online. What is the value you are going to add yourself to match up those discounts? Lack of touch and feel of merchandise online. There is no way right now, unless people are going to take some part of the inventory to the house, but that's going to happen eventually. But until such time, but there is an opportunity, don't you think so, to bring back the customers to you and give them the experience of touch and feel. Give them the experience of interactivity, the pleasure of having to talk to you, and give them a wonderful shopping experience, and give them a close examination of each and every product they buy. They can feel ensured that they are buying the right thing. And most importantly, you be self-aware and make your patients and customers aware about the fraud of going online and privacy. I'm just going to give you an exercise because we have only 10 minutes now. I recommend close your eyes and do this exercise. Pick up your finger and point towards north. Pick up your finger and point towards north. How sure are you that what you have pointed is north? Imagine if this is an organization. This exercise works fantastically well when we have a group of people in front of you, and you can replicate it. Every single person will be pointing towards, different direction. If the organization is going to go in a different direction, how are you going to come up with a solution in this post-COVID world? This is my question, and that is why Eyezone Education has taken this initiative to come to you and ask you those questions, so that you can come up to us and ask us and tell us what needs to be done going forward utilizing this platform. So thank you again for everyone for joining this webinar.
Thank you, Mushtaq.